All right. Speaking of the man, Rob, in India in New Orleans for the past, I don't even know how many years, decade plus, has been Drew Brees. And now Drew Brees is injured. He was injured in the game yesterday, victory over the 49ers in the first half. Crazy hit on a sack.
What did they say?
And
3 broken ribs, a punctured lung. What does he got?
Well, he's got 5 broken ribs.
Oh, 5.
And a collapsed lung. So, but they found out that he broke 3 of his ribs last week against Tampa Bay. And they didn't know that maybe the swelling, the inflammation, they couldn't
Covered
tell
it
on
up.
the MRI. Yeah. But this, now that I guess the swelling's gone down, they saw that he's got 2 ribs broken on his right side, and that was this weekend, and 3 ribs broken on his left side, which was last weekend against Tampa Bay, plus the collapsed lung. Optimistically, they're saying he'll be out 2 to 3 weeks, but realistically, Rob, I think it's going to be probably 4 or 5 weeks. And if I'm New Orleans, I'm just letting him rest until he can get healthy. Now, those ribs aren't going to heal before the playoffs, like get back to normal. He's going to have to play through some pain.
Put a flak jacket on, right?
Degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll put a flak jacket on. The collapsed lung should heal in a matter of these weeks. But and then it'll give his time for shoulder to heal because his shoulder was bothering him too. There is an element, Rob, of blessing in disguise.
All right, be careful, Tony Dungy.
Well, it didn't work out for my man Tony, but
No, that's right.
here's what, and you hate to say that with an injury, but we're assuming he's going to be back. Let's say 5 weeks. Okay, this is why I say that. One, I'll go back to what I talked about last week, Rob. We've looked at him the last few years, and at about the 12th game, he tends to go downhill because obviously he's, 42 now? And the arm strength, he seems to lose it after about 12 games. Obviously, it's not that strong to begin with anymore. But then it seems to get even weaker later in the season. So now with him being out for injury, come playoff time, he should kind of be right in that wheelhouse where his arm is still what it is right now, which is strong enough to lead them to victory. So that's number one. Number two, you get to see what Jameis Winston is made of. You get to see, is this guy your quarterback of the future? Because they're starting Jameis. I mean, they haven't announced it. Sean Payton said they won't announce it yet. But it looks like they're going to go to Jameis Winston. Last year, we know about Taysom Hill, but last year they went to Teddy Bridgewater over Hill. This
Bridgewater did a nice job for them in his stead.
He did a real nice job. But we know this. This isn't a revelation. He's a more stable quarterback, right? Not as dynamic as Jameis. He's never going to probably throw 30 touchdowns in a year. But he's steady. He won't make the mistakes. He does what the offense calls for. So I'm really excited to see if Winston, has learned. Look, we know Bruce Arians in Tampa likes to throw it all over the yard. Did that contribute a lot to what Jameis, his interceptions? He's obviously got some decision-making issues, but they get to see, is this a guy we can count on going forward? So as long as Brees gets back, Rob, later in the season, and they can win a few of these games and just stay in the playoff hunt, then I think this could be a blessing in disguise for New Orleans.
Yeah, it could be. And last year it didn't hamper them, and he was able to come back. And you're right. Drew Brees has a couple of issues. Maybe he can get those things worked out. He won't have a tired arm come the end of the season, right? It's like a little break. So, yeah, I don't see it as – it's not like a season ending or something like that. Then you rethink everything and say, my God, like what's going to happen, where they're going to be, but they expect him back. So it solves two things. It lets an older quarterback heal and rest. You get to take a look at Jameis Winston, right?
Right.
And see where he fits in as you move forward, because Drew Brees, right, supposedly has this deal in place with NBC after next season. And then, Chris, Sean Payton isn't Bruce Arians. Sean Payton is known as a great play caller, and maybe he's what Jameis Winston needs, right, offensively. Maybe. And maybe he can get this guy to throw the ball to the right places and to the right color uniform and whatnot. and maybe, maybe they'll look and go, dude, we got our guy here. This guy was a top pick in the NFL draft. He's
got
thrown a lot of
talent. Right.
Yeah,
he's not Jamarcus Russell.
No. He's had stats. And
right.
if you go look at his stats last year, other than the 30 interceptions, seriously, most teams – 95% of the teams would have taken all the other stats, Chris. If you just take away the interception.
Heck, put him back in 1996, and that would have been a Pro Bowl year.
Oh, big time, right?
Touchdowns
with the interceptions,
touchdowns and 30 picks or something like that. But he was 6 for 10, 63 yards, and he was sacked twice, actually. But that's okay. I mean, nothing dynamic, but it's not bad. He didn't throw any interceptions, and he played the entire second half. So that's what he did against San Francisco. We'll see going forward. But we need to put this to rest. Taysom Hill is not the quarterback of the future for New Orleans. Let's put it to rest. And
if he was, he would be in the lineup. What are you waiting for? He
wasn't in the lineup last year.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But they keep signing him like he's, like you can't live without him. Yeah.
No, right. And look, I get the notion that, look, if we hand off the keys to Taysom Hill, when Drew's hurt, then we got to change the entire offense, right? Because he is a runner. He's not going to throw it as, like Brees and all that stuff. So I understand that. But he's 30 years old. See, some people think because they hadn't heard of him before he's this young whippersnapper. No, he's 30 years old. And you're going to have to craft an offense somewhat like what they do with Lamar Jackson, where, his running is a big part of it. Here's the thing. I have no reason to believe Taysom Hill is going to throw it as well as Lamar Jackson. For all Lamar's faults, he throws it pretty well, right? He's not a great passer by any stretch, but he throws it pretty well. I have no reason to believe Taysom's going to be able to do that over a 16-game season. And he's not going to be the runner that Lamar Jackson is. He's going to take far more shots, and that's going to wear him down a bit. He's not as elusive. Like I said, he's 30 years old. So this notion that he's coming in to save the day next year, if he doesn't this year, next year, I think it's put to bed. He's a utility guy. That's nice. He can play all these different types of positions. He can change the game. He's a different look here or there, but don't get it twisted. He is not your steady, stable franchise quarterback. That's a mic drop for you.
No, there's nothing. What am I adding to it?
You agree, though, I think, right?
I'm not that big on him.
Come on. I mean,
it's just been a sample size.
Right.
I've seen him. Sometimes I've even questioned when they put him in, he's fumbled the ball, right? You're like, You're driving, you got your guy. What are you doing? You have a nice drive going. You don't have to be that creative all the time. Just let it play.
Where's Brady Papinga when we need him? We need him as a guest when we talk about Taysom Hill once every year.
Brady Pinata Papinga? Brady Pinata Papinga. That's his new name, Brady Pinata.
All right, we are throwing it out to you guys. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. You see it as Rob and I. Will Drew Brees' injury end up being a blessing in disguise for the New Orleans Saints?
I think we're going to really see how good of a coach Sean Payton is with this.
Well, he's a good coach. He's a good coach. You question whether or not he's a good coach?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one guy I don't question.
Right.
No, he's a good coach, but I really believe we can see what he can do with Jameis Winston now. Because Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions last year.
Yep.
I really believe we can really see how good of a coach, because Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer. We all know that.
Well, he did well with Teddy Bridgewater last year. Now, I know it was 5 games, but he was 5-0.
Yep.
So I hear you. Can he,
Well,
can he
but I guess
Jameis, stop him from throwing picks? I mean,
I guess in this thing too, Chris, what Joel is saying, like Teddy Bridgewater Jameis Winston might wind up like Teddy Bridgewater, who walked away from New Orleans and got a new deal, right?
No, right.
Like if they play well enough.
Winston, that's how he should be looking at it. Whether
right. Just look and see what Teddy Bridgewater did.
Or somewhere else. No doubt. No doubt about it. No doubt
Dwayne
about it.
in Richmond, Virginia, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
Hey, how
Hello?
y'all doing?
Yeah,
We
what's
good,
up,
brother.
Dwayne?
How are you? Hello?
Got a
Dwayne?
bad phone.
Yeah.
Got a bad phone. Bob in Naples, Florida, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Bob?
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call. Happy holidays.
Yes, sir.
Yes. A little early, but yeah.
But
we'll
it's
take
coming, though, Chris. It's be here before Thanksgiving.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, Happy New Year. All right.
Hey, it might be redundant, and maybe you guys discussed this already before I hopped on, but I'm going to give you a comment, and then I'll give you my answer. It's not like Jameis Winston is inheriting the keys to and not that there's anything wrong with these cars, like a Toyota Prius or a Scion. He's getting the keys to a Ferrari.
Why are you ripping the car that Chris has? It's okay, a
A
Prius.
Ferrari?
Yeah. The
No, I
irony
hear
here
you.
is,
But let's keep it real. We're all raving about the weapons that Tom Brady now has in Tampa. And I know they added Gronk, but he's old. They added Antonio Brown, but that was just, 2 weeks ago. And Leonard Fournette, but they got Ronald Jones. So that's what Jameis had last year. He had Evans, he had Godwin, he had Jones. So he had some help last year, too, not to mention the other tight ends.
indeed. But if you go around his offensive roster, the irony is, they lose Brees. Now they got Michael Thomas back. They got Emmanuel Sanders. They have, Cooks,
Kamara,
not
yep.
Hamburger,
No doubt.
but Kamara, Latavius Murray, Taysom Hill. He's got weapons around him. The blessing here is, I think for sure, it's a blessing for Brees. Is it a blessing for the Saints? Time will tell. Thanks for taking my call.
If it's a blessing for Breeze, it certainly helps the Saints.
Right, because he'll be ready to go, Chris, when it matters most, right?
Right.
It's about the postseason.
No doubt.
They've already won 13 games a year or whatever. We already know about that. Marty in Kentucky, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marty, on a Magic City Monday?
Hey, fellas, it's good to hear from you.
What's up,
get
brother?
straight. What's up, Chris? I'm gonna get straight to the point. First of all, I do think it could be a blessing because Breeze in the last few years has showed decline late in the season in the playoffs, and now he can be fresh. Right. Also, I don't think anybody really believes Taysom Hill, although he is a great football player, is the future at quarterback for the organization. Now,
you know what, Marty? Real quick, that reminds me of the Tim Tebow thing. They called him a great football player, but not quarterback. There's a difference between the two, right?
Exactly, and Sean Payton knows how to use Taysom Hill. Now, I believe that Jameis Winston, for two reasons. I mean, obviously Sean Payton's a great coach and knows how to use him, and he's not going to ask him to throw bombs the whole game like you do in Bruce Arians' offense.
Right.
Also, Winstead, I know from personal experience, I lost a lot of eyesight from 20 to 24. That's when your muscles change in your eye the most, and you lose that ability to see sharply far out, and that affects your accuracy. I got LASIK surgery myself, and after I did, my ability to shoot outside with a basketball and shoot my shotgun at flying birds, it just exploded. I mean, it went to a new level after I got LASIK surgery, and I got that 20/20 vision. So
after I got LASIK, I think I got divorced once I got my eyesight back. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's interesting what Marty said, because I got glasses at 20 years old.
Did you?
Yep. I wore my senior year basketball, I played in goggles. like Kareem or James Worthy.
Really?
Yeah.
Your
I played
eyesight
in
went at
goggles.
20?
Yeah. And then I had LASIK at about 28, 29, somewhere
Wow.
around there. And LASIK is great. And come on, that was 20 years ago. Yeah, it was, 20-something years ago.
But
when
I
had
went to
it.
when
I
my
know it's much
eyesight
better
started
now.
to go, I went to the eye doctor.
You didn't have LASIK.
And I didn't have. I asked him,
Okay.
did I need it? Because I went to a restaurant and turned my credit card to look on the back for the phone number or something. I couldn't see it.
No,
Like,
I
couldn't-
believe. But
And,
that
and
was,
I was
what, at
scared because
50?
I was
That's at
but I
50
was
or
in my
something.
50s, right?
Right.
And I went to the doctor and he was like, "Dude, you're just 50. That's all it is. Everybody goes through it.
I don't.
You
Could
don't
LASIK
need
even
LASIK."
fix that? You
No,
know what I mean?
He told me. Yeah, he told
It
me that I
couldn't.
didn't need it.
Oh, because I was thinking. I don't know if you can get it twice, but anybody out there who hadn't had it, it's a good thing. All right.